We're live again. It's day 4, Evolutionary TV, 12 Days to Relief. And welcome again. I'm your host, Terry Earthwind Nichols, and
Linda Vetras Nichols.
We're glad you're back, or at least picking these up in the recorded part. We see some contacts with some of the people that have seen the recordings later and contacted us. Thank you for doing so. We hope we answered your questions appropriately, and maybe you got some more. So, what's next on the agenda? So, what would it be like to be fearless? Interesting question. Linda?
Absolutely. Well, I'm sure you've heard, fear is just false evidence appearing real, and allow fear to just pass right through you, just puff up all your cells and allow it to go right through you. What's another one when we talk about fear? Can you think?
Blood pressure rises, physical things,
Yep.
cold sweat. That can also happen just before the breakthrough, right? Which is exciting. Certainly spikes in sugar. Yeah.
You can stop you right in your tracks, or you can keep going in spite of it. Even like stress, like if we didn't have stress, we'd be dead. Stress keeps us going. There's eustress and then there's stress. So eustress is kind of like, if you want to put the word good on something, that's the good stress. That's the stress that keeps us going. Same with fear. And unless it's like taking over you, it's good to feel the fear and do it anyways. It's kind of cliche, but it really changes things. And you learn to quelch your ego, if you will. You don't want to kill it off. It's there, thank it, whatever, and do it anyways. And fear gets you to stop and think, okay, what might happen? And then you get to choose. That's the best part about fear. You can let it run your life, or you can use it as a thermometer, and you can take a look at both sides. What might happen if I do this? What might happen if I do that? I really believe that fear can help us make choices.
Yeah, and there really is. There are no good choices, no bad choices, simply a choice. And we as human beings, if we feel like we just made a choice that's not in our best interest, we can change our minds.
Yep.
Right? Some of the superheroes in the world wars and the fireman who's scared to death and runs through the side of a wall to save lives. Fear wasn't part of the equation. Fear was, the hell with it, I'm going. And that's what it feels like to be fearless. Maybe it's for a split second, maybe it's for a few minutes, but it's real. And it too is a behavior. We talk a lot about behaviors here and repetitive behaviors. It may not be the best set of choices over time to ignore fear, because sometimes your intuition, that gut feeling down there, is telling you, think again, this is not right. And if we say it's not right, it's probably true. That might be something to think about as well, Linda.
I agree. When you were standing on the edge of the building, was there any fear?
There was not.
That's a good sign too. If there's no fear, right?
No fear. What does no fear mean? And that's scarier that you think about it. I look back at being on that building, there was no wind blowing me forward, no wind blowing me back. Seems like we have a little bit of problems here, but I don't know.
Psychedelic tonight.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Let's
just leave it.
Well, we'll keep going. We'll see what happens. But when I was up there was no wind to blow me off the window, off of the side, and certainly no wind to catch me or to push me back. This little voice in the back of my head said, "Turn around, I got work for you." And I turned around as if I received an order, like I was in the Navy again. But I had no fear. And looking back on it, that's really scary because fear is your check safe, right? What does fear mean to you? And going through that anyway is really quite honorable.
Yep. I had a client who had always felt like she wasn't enough. She needed to learn more, and she was constantly, you know, kind of serial student, right? And she would just drown herself in Facebook, if you will. It was just constant intake, intake, intake. And she would spend her day answering emails and looking on Facebook and pretty much frittering her day away. And now she feels like she's looking at things through different eyes and feeling somewhat fearless about moving forward in her business because she took charge of what she was doing with her time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. What's fearless mean to you? Isn't that interesting? We're at the end of the show and it stops our screen. Hopefully it didn't work on your end. Thanks again for coming. Tomorrow night is 5. And remember, we're going to do this every night, including New Year's Eve. Thanks for stopping. Bye-bye.
Bye.